Dogs are going crazy. I apologize. They'll hopefully stop once they hear me talking. Welcome everyone to the Monday live stream, where we talk about fish and aquariums. Already got a bunch of questions lined up here. That is great. Always enjoy seeing that. Just gotta fix my chat here real quick, and we'll be set. Change over here, live chat to top chat. And pop out. Here we go. All right, we are off. The one thing I would like you to do, if you can, is just hit that like button. It does a lot, and it doesn't really take much effort. So hit the like button on your way in, or if you're re-watching. Of course, if you dislike, go ahead and hit the dislike button too. I don't really care as long as it's one or the other. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have some questions already, so let's just get right into it. Someone, Steven says, so which Melanotania species is the highly saturated thumbnail? In my defense, for once, I did not overly saturate this thumbnail. Let me take a look here. This is how it was when it was on Pixabay. I did nothing. I did plug it into Photoshop and actually turned the saturation down. It turned the contrast down, and it's still kind of crazy looking. But it is just a regular old Australian rainbow, Melanotania splendida. Done, did it. Awesome. All right, so yes, Melanotania splendida. I kind of wanted to use this thumbnail just to point out how good these fish can look. I feel like they're pretty underrated because they're like $1, maybe $2, and they're just silver. But once they grow out, they do get a decent amount of color, so they don't look terrible. They're definitely a really good $2. I mean, there's tetras that are like $5 that don't even look that good. So $2 rainbow fish, I think it looks pretty good. What was next? Naming the fish was a race between 1,000 people. Okay, what's the best? Leo says, what's the best stem plant for getting rid of nitrates and nitrite in a breeding tank for 134s, L134s? I would say if you have nitrites, then you have a problem, my friend, because soon you're going to have ammonia. Your tank may not be cycled, but as far as nitrates, I would do probably something fast growing. Not that leopard, well, I guess it depends on how many leopard frog plecos you have. Like if you have 20 in a 40-gallon tank, then you're going to get a lot of nitrate. But if you have maybe like 6, you're not going to get a ton of nitrate. But I would still do something like a Pogostemum stellatus octopus because it doesn't require high light, doesn't require CO2. In most cases, it doesn't even require any type of fertilizers. So it just grows really fast. And of course, then you have like your water sprite, your water wisteria, which can be both planted or floating. But I know you said stem plants, but something I would recommend also is maybe floating plants. They do help a lot with plecos and making them feel more secure. So just something to think about. Yeah, but as far as stem plants, or maybe like maybe just like a simple Rotala or Lugwidia. They all grow pretty fast. All right, moving right along. Did you like? So if I get the Pogostemum 2, it's a better plant and one to float with water sprite. Yes, Pogostemum. You might get kind of crazy if you do Pogostemum, stellatus octopus, and water sprite. you might need some fertilizer in that one because both of those grow really fast, and it'll turn into a jungle really fast. And if you don't have enough fertilizer in there, don't have enough fish poop, nitrates, whatever you want to call it, they will start to die off, and then that's going to create all kinds of issues for you. Decaying organics like wood and especially like leaf litter can really cause some harm in your aquariums if you're not paying attention. So just something to look out for. BC says, will an apistogramma kill my Amano shrimps? Probably not. Amanos, well, depending on what size. I would say generally not. It's hard to get Amanos like under an inch. So, and Amanos can get up to 3 inches. They get huge. So definitely not then. However, if you have breeding apistos and the Amanos are kind of snooping around in their cave, trying to get in their cave, then yes, the apistos will definitely kill them. But in just a normal community setting, probably not going to be an option or a problem. I've kept cherry shrimp with apistos just fine, and usually not an issue. I have to closely monitor my Pleco grow out for nitrite with all the veggies I put in there. Yeah. If you're talking about like a spike in your cycle, definitely got to keep an eye on that. All right, enough about fish. Time to talk about meme coins and stocks. I actually don't think I own any meme coins right now. No, I don't. So there you go. What'd I miss? I went to sleep around 3 a.m. What? All right. Barbara Jackson. Hello, Barbara. Hey there, everyone. Bob made it, but you have to leave early. Going to Alexander's Steakhouse at 6. It's fancy. Oh, so you just came to show off. I get it. I see how it is. I guess you did buy me a steak once, so that's appropriate. Amanda says, I want to set up a 75 with sponge filters, but I want to add more flow. I like to use a circulation pump, but I'm worried fry or shrimp will get blended up. Alternative ideas. I would say it's pretty rare for them, but it's definitely possible for them to get blended up. An alternative would be like a hang-on back filter with a sponge intake. So you just put a sponge over the intake, and you'll get your flow. Obviously, you're not going to get as much flow as you would out of a power head, but you can still get fairly decent flow out of a hang-on back. And that's normally the route I go. If there's a situation where I'm adding a power head, I'm usually like, well, I'll just throw on a hang-on back because, extra filtration is not going to hurt, and I'll still get, some flow out of it. So, Brian says, cannot seem to locate ropefish for purchase. Any online suggestions? Yes, I'm going to give you a suggestion right now because they are in stock, and I happen to be an affiliate for this place, which is pretty cool. And, my camera's in the way. I can't see. Oh, no. Let's just do this. Don't do it. Here we go. Where's my chat? There it is. There you go. Get gills. You can click on that link. They do, well, let me check. When I was snooping around on this website over the weekend, there was ropefish. But let me see. Gotta make sure. All right. Ropefish, where are you? There's only like 7 left. Scrolling. I guess I could have just searched ropefish. Yeah, so there's 7 left. Right there. Ropefish. And that's probably one of the best, if not the best, shipper in the business. So you are in good hands if you go that route. Well, guess I am. Yeah. Bob, it's 3 a.m. your wake up time. So currently, I think I said I was going to get up earlier, but I haven't done it yet. Actually, I don't remember if I get up at 3:30 or 4. Let me look. Okay, alarm goes off at 4. So I get up at 4. What fish could you put with an 8-gallon year-round outdoor tub? Another aquatics, there's way too many variables. I mean, are you in Alaska? Are you in Antarctica? Are you in Texas, Florida? Yeah, it really just depends on your specific weather, where you're at. Dan's Fish has them, I think. Yes, and he has the best rainbow fish money can buy. Perfect. Thanks, Bob. Yeah, no problem. I'm super excited to be teamed up with Dan's Fish. I'll be flying out there once his new warehouse is built, whenever that happens, and give you guys a full scoop. But I'm pretty excited about it. Andrew says, just got the notification, smash the like button so others get notified. Whew. Yes. Fish Tank Barn with the $1.50 ice cream. Don't tempt me. I was tempted today and I did something stupid. Don't tempt me again. Got mine from Aquatic Arts. If they are out, you can get on the email list, Aquatic Arts. I actually just got some fish from them. Was pretty impressed with their shipping as well. Kenny says, pond snails in my shrimp tank. What is the best and safest way to eradicate them? My question to you is why? Why do you want to eradicate them? Oh, maybe I should keep reading. I'm not opposed to snails. I just don't want 100 of them. Is assassin snails a good solution? I mean, I'm really pro snails, especially in outdoor ponds. You could do assassin snails. However, assassin snails will kill your shrimp. Yep, shrimp are dumb enough to let a snail like ooze up on them and kill them. So I don't know that I would recommend an assassin snail, but if you have like a ton of snails, maybe just cut back on feeding. Of course, that would take months for them to dwindle down, but man, I don't know why you don't want snails in there. They're so beneficial, especially in outdoor tubs. But I mean, you could do the snail trap. I've never used it, so I don't know. I mean, people say it works well, but I've never used it. Or you could just drop like a cucumber in there and go back, like drop it in that night, and in the morning, all this you'll have like a billion snails on the cucumber or whatever vegetable you want to use, and then you just yank the whole thing out, and you know, you won't get all of them, but you'll get a good chunk of them. Airsoft GI with the $5 super chat says, have you done Emerald Eye Rasboras, Chili Rasboras summer tubbing? I actually haven't done any Rasboras summer tubbing. It's something I need to do because I feel like it would be pretty easy to breed them outside. But I only got so many totes, so not yet. It will happen at some point. I think Emerald Eye Rasboras would be a really good one to do outdoors. Chili Rasboras, probably pretty good outdoors, but they're a little bit more delicate. So you just have to keep an eye on that. And when I say delicate, I mean to like water change or water temperature swings, things like that. I don't recommend assassin snails, Tampa Tom fishing. I'm right there with you. I've never used them. Yeah, I wouldn't go assassin snails, but that's just me. Nice tank in the background. Yep. White cloud minnows, celestial pearl danios, and neon blue rasboras. All right. I love pond snails, algae monsters. The other nice thing about pond snails, I don't know if you have plants in there, but they'll eat any like decaying leaves or dead leaves. So they're just pretty beneficial. I love my ram's horns, and so does my pea puffer. I think an outdoor tub of pea puffers would be really fun, but boy, 100 pea puffers, that would be really expensive. That's a lot of bloodworms you'd have to buy. Jacob says, hey, Bob. And thank you, Airsoft, for the $5 super chat. I appreciate it. Hey, Bob, I plan on getting white clouds for a patio pond soon. What should I feed the babies, and should I put moss at the bottom for them to scatter the eggs on? If you can get moss to survive in your tub, great idea. If not, then I would just build some spawning mops and tie them to rocks, or there's lots of different ways you can sink them. But that's what I did in my tubs, is I just made my own spawning mops and threw them in there. Moss, if it gets too hot, moss will die back. So just keep that in mind. Moss generally likes colder water, so going into summer, it may not do well depending on your water temperature. But yeah, also, again, depending on how big your tub is, like my white clouds, they never go to the bottom. So when they scatter eggs, they rarely go to the bottom. So the other thing is, outside, if it gets lots of sun, you're going to get tons of algae, and you'll probably have like an algae carpet, which will also help with the eggs and help the fry. And what should you feed the babies? Honestly, I would just, by time they breed, by time they drop the eggs, by time they grow up or lose their egg sac, there's probably going to be enough just stuff in the pond for them to feed off of in general. But you could use like Rapashi or Aquarium Co-op fry food. There's a few different companies that make fry food, which is like a really fine powder. But generally, I don't really worry about it. If you have algae, like there's lots of stuff for them to be eaten, especially in an outdoor tub. All kinds of bugs in there. Does anyone know what the name of the fish are that are half blue and half yellow that have... Oh, half blue and half yellow. There's half blue and half red. Oh, either way, I just named all the fish, so you could go through them. Fish out of water with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Eric Wyrock, with $3.27 super chat. I appreciate it. Michael says, Bob, very excited. Or is yelling at me. We'll see. Day 1 of free swimming German blue rams. Can I use first bites? I don't have live baby brine. You can use first bites, and you can also like grind it up even more and make it more of a powder. I can't guarantee you that they will eat it, but if it's your only option, it's really your only option. Maybe you have like a local fish store that maybe you can get some brine from. I'm not sure. Multi-Jacker with the $10 super chat says, hey Bob, happy Monday. Other than ropefish, what's your favorite oddball fish? I'm really in love with Dean's lungfish, but that's really ropefish like, so I don't know if you like that answer. But I was really blown away by that fish, and I actually go back and watch that video at least once a month, the video I did on his ropefish, just because I think it's so cool. So yeah, I'm gonna say ropefish. I hope that's all right. Not like I said, or not ropefish, lungfish. It's pretty close to a ropefish. Jacob Hill says, thanks for answering my question, and everyone liked the stream. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to like. Jalen says, anybody know a good place to buy medium large tanks during the off season of $1 per gallon? A 40-gallon breeder, $40 breeder is $100 during this time. So the best places to look for any used tanks, Craigslist, OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace. Between those three, if you watch them and set alerts, you'll find good deals. Caitlin says, if I already have a CO2 tank and only need to buy a regulator and diffuser, would it be worth setting up a CO2 system to speed propagation? I have two 40 gallons and hopefully a 125 soon to plant. You already have a CO2 tank, which honestly is usually the cheapest part of that equation. But I would still, you can go on Amazon and get like an Aquatech CO2 regulator for like 50, well, they used to be $50 or $60. I don't know how much they are now. So, I mean, you have the tank. You could be in under that. You can get that set up in under $100 pretty easily. And I would recommend it if your goal is to grow plants fast. Then, yeah, absolutely, I would do that. Blue Water Jim says, Bob, very excited again. Speaking of moss, why can I not keep Java moss alive in any of my tanks? All CO2 injected, excellent lighting, low and high light areas in every tank, plenty of nutrients. I'm keeping Monte Carlo, dwarf hairgrass, other harder plants, and Java moss dies every freaking time. Well, Java moss, in my experience, is not a huge fan of CO2. I know you can go on YouTube and see lots of tanks set up with Java moss and CO2. It's never worked for me, ever. Any CO2 tank, and it's only Java moss. Like I've done like Christmas moss and willow moss and CO2 tanks, but for some reason, CO2 and Java moss for me has never worked. They also don't like high light. So if you have all high-tech tanks, even though you said you have like lower lighting areas in the tank, I think it's just too much. I think you just have too much highlight, too much CO2, plenty of nutrients. If it was me, I would say CO2, but that's just, again, my personal experience. So that's why I say that. Andrew says, what fish should you avoid from PetSmart? Boy, that's kind of a tough question because PetSmart buys from the same place as a lot of local fish stores. There's definitely some really good wholesalers that don't sell to Petco and PetSmart. But without getting into like your LFS owner and finding out where he buys them, which most of them won't tell you, Man, I would stay away from any live bear. Guppy, platy, swordtail. I would never do a live bear. Every time I'm in Petco or PetSmart, all the live bears just look terrible. Those are definitely ones I would stay away from. Opinion on plenum substrate. Plenum substrate. I've never used it. Is there a difference between live baby brine or instant baby brine shrimp in your experience? In my experience, I have actually never done brine shrimp. Believe it or not, I've never done it. I've been wanting to set up my brine shrimp hatcheries, but at the same time, like should be moving at some point. So it's like, I don't really want to set up more stuff, so eventually I'll have some brine shrimp experience. But yeah, so far I've never done it. I've just, when I'm breeding, I've done vinegar eels and microworms, and anything outside of that is dry food. Fish out of water with the $5 super chat. Thank you. Any rainbows that get 6 inches plus that could live in a well-planted 230-gallon Oscar tank? The only one that I would probably recommend is the Australian rainbow fish, like the one in the thumbnail, because they do get really big. Probably the only ones I've actually gotten that have been over 6 inches, and they get really tall too. So once they stop growing long, they start growing tall, and they get the big forehead. And I've had some monster Australian rainbow fish, so that would be my recommendation. No guarantee. I mean, an Oscar is going to get pretty dang big, but the advantage is the rainbow has the speed. But unfortunately, at night when they sleep, that's usually when they start getting picked off. So no guarantee, but that is what I would recommend, and just hope for the best. Blue Water Jim with the $5 super chat says, thanks for the answers. Well, thank you for the super chat, my friend. I appreciate it. Lumpy Dog says 14.5 hour hike, 40.8 miles, ended with thunderstorm and sleeping in the car. Those are usually like the best adventures, though. Is Mr. MM here? We got his black ghost knives, but we lost his number. Mr. MM. Okay. Oh, how far behind am I? Oh, I'm not far at all. Kyle says, avoid common plecos from Petco and PetSmart unless you have a huge tank. Yes, almost any pleco. Well, they have like they do have rubber lip. Every once in a while, they'll get a bushy nose in. But usually it's freaking PetSmart gets Adonis plecos in, which is insane. That's like a 4-foot pleco. It's just unbelievable. But mostly it's going to be like a sailfin pleco or the common pleco, and both of those just get huge. I hate seeing like 15-inch plecos in a 29-gallon aquarium. Ugh, bugs me. Java fern problem, just asking the obvious, but are you planting the... Did he say Java fern? And I said Java moss? Java moss, okay. Whew. Man. Or maybe you're talking about someone else. Megan says Aquarium Co-op brine shrimp hatchery is amazing. I have like 4 of them too. I really need to get them set up, but I'm also not breeding anything, so I would specifically be setting it up just to make a video about it. And I don't want to do that either. I want to set it up and use it when I'll actually use it when I'm breeding, not just for a video. But yeah, the thing has like really good reviews. It's really well built. So I'm thinking it's gonna be pretty dang sweet. I have 98% rate every time. Their eggs are awesome too. Well, there might be some bad news in that area, but I don't know yet. But the eggs, yep, eggs are awesome. I have some in my fridge. I've had them ever since the brine shrimp hatchery, since he started carrying it. I forget the brand. Yeah, it's not like a, for people that don't know, it's not like a co-op branded brine shrimp hatchery. It's just one that the co-op sells. I don't know, I'm drawing a blank on the brand. I got like 3 of them on the counter in my kitchen though. It's ridiculous. Still in the box. T-Shot says, sup Bob, been a little while since I caught a live stream. I hope you're doing well. Have you ever bred German blue rams? What do you feed the fry their first feeding? I have not. I have bred Bolivian rams, but the fry are a little bit bigger. Zis, that's it. Zis hatcheries. Zis is the brand. Zis is the brand, or Zis is the brand? I don't know. So I've never bred German blue rams. If I was to do it now, I would definitely try brine shrimp. But my go-to would be like vinegar eels and microworms and rapashi, and yeah. I've never had like that combination. Never worked for something I've bred. Vinegar eels, microworms. Microworms, you know, they're not going to work for a lot of fry because they are a little bit bigger, even though their name is micro. But yeah, those are kind of my go-to. Do you believe brine shrimp would be enough to sustain pea puffers, or would they need more than that? If you were growing them out to adults, I bet it would. They don't need, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure you don't have to worry about pea puffers' teeth. So it's not like you have to feed them snails. Yeah, I bet you could. I mean, my brine shrimp pond has some pretty big brine shrimp in it that are actually bigger than like adult pea puffers. Did you keep your own cultures of the microworms and eels? Yes, they're super. My vinegar eels are like the easiest thing ever to grow. So easy. Microworms, I did do my own cultures for a while. But then once my local fish store started selling them, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to buy them when I need them at this point. Because I didn't really like maintaining those ones. But the vinegar eels, like, it's just set it and forget it and use it as needed. And they'll live for, I mean, the colony will go forever. What can I use other than methylene blue to keep cory eggs from getting fungus? I mean, are you taking them out or are you leaving them in the tank? You're correct, Bob. Pea puffers do not need hard shell food. Thank you. Thank you. I'm definitely not a puffer expert, but I was pretty sure that they do not. Oh, man. I just kicked my desk. Whoops. Puffers don't need tooth trimmings. Yep. Awesome. I'm planning future stocking for my 29-gallon and was wondering if Frittata rainbows or Rasbora hets would be mean to clown killies. I don't think either would be mean. You might get an occasional nip out of like a Frittata rainbow, but it's just a curiosity nip. It's not like aggression. Generally not aggression. Although I feel like a Frittata is going to be just too active for a clown killie. I think just how active they are, it'll probably stress out a clown killie. Rasbora is definitely not an issue. But yeah, and you could definitely do clown killies and frittatas in a bigger tank, but a 29-gallon, they're going to be, occupying that same space up top, and you'll probably stress out the clown killies just from them being so active. Taking them out. If you're taking them out, I mean, you can honestly just use like a bubbler if you wanted to, or increasing flow is another thing you can do. And Patty's Petite Tank says, I do curiosity nips as well. Well, stay away from me. My male frickatas think everything else is a female frittata. Yes, they can be kind of randy. At sometimes. Microdose cory eggs with H2O2 every day for fungus. Yep. I mean, honestly, if you're keeping your water clean, you shouldn't have that much issues. Or that many issues, but yeah, you could do H2O2 as well. I feel like there's kind of a learning curve there because it's not hard to overdose with hydrogen peroxide, but still. Family stream, Patty. Family stream. She wasn't talking about her nips. She just said that she... Wait, maybe she was. We're just going to move on. Let's just move on. I got some green sunfish for my tank, 255. Any thoughts? I know you see my chat. Well, just because you said I know you see your chat, I'm not going to answer your question, just out of spite. Slicklidscape, I've never kept green sunfish in my life. I've never even researched them. So I could not help you with those, unfortunately. But I do see your chat, and thank you for the question. I apologize. No experience. Maybe someone in chat can help you out though. Would an air stone in a mason jar or 5-gallon work? Wait, for what? Oh, would an air stone in a mason jar? I don't know that I would do that. Honestly, I would get something that like floats on top of the water, and you can put like holes around it, and so you get some flow in there, and just let it float. Are you taking them out because something's preying on them, or is that why you're taking them out? Honestly, I wouldn't even take them out if I didn't have to. Joel says, you look quite radiant today, Bob. Have you been continuing your health and fitness journey, including 6 a.m. gym every day like a madman? Well, yes, except I go at 4:30. So I go from 4:30 to 6 to 6:30, and every day, even weekends, every day. As a rule of thumb, how old do bronze corridors need to be to spawn? It's not really an age thing; it's a maturity thing. So you can't, like, there's not really a general rule for it. Like, I could give Fry to Joe over here, and then I can give them to Mandy over here, and Joe does daily water changes and feeds 3 times a day. Mandy does bi-weekly water changes and feed once every other day. You know, Joe, his are going to be ready in like 6 to 8 months. Mandy, I mean, at that rate, it'll probably be like a year. So if your goal is to breed them, lots of feedings and lots of water changes, and that's how you grow them out fast. Subterfuge AG8 says, how should I do the blackout method? 7 days? Honestly, until it's gone. Like 7 days would be the max. It depends on what kind of algae you're working with. Like blue-green algae, for me, blacked out, dies in like 2 to 3 days. So, you know, one, it depends on the type of algae. And then nothing is stopping you from looking at it every single day. Like, it's not going to hurt anything to like lift up a corner and see if the algae is gone. That's really all you need to do. So probably on like day 3, I would check, and then I would just check like every day from there on until the algae is gone. Remember, Bob can't stop his inner troll sometimes, even as nice as he is. Oh, my inner troll is my own worst enemy, I swear. I was so close to getting pink flamingo from the co-op, but it sold out while it was in my cart. I ordered one from Boost Plant, and after that, still hoping it arrives okay, even though it's not from the co-op. It's kind of a gamble lately from that place. I haven't heard good things about them recently, but, you know, shipping in general is not going well right now. So I'll keep my fingers crossed for you. How is the polar bear swimming going? Yes, I will wear this joke out as much as possible. What's the joke? What's the joke? We still just have to work out a day. That's it. Probably won't get an answer, but are there any good bottom feeders for a 10-gallon? What do you mean you probably won't get an answer? Now you won't, just out of spite. I'm not going to answer it. Corridoras, although you cannot rely on them to be mainly bottom feeders. Coolie loaches are a good one. There's some other loaches too, but like a rosy loach. But coolie loaches would be a really good bottom feeder. You can do a really small pleco, like a rubber lip pleco would do well in a 10-gallon tank. And so yeah, there's a few suggestions for you're probably not going to read this question. My Boost Plant pink flamingo arrived melted and still hasn't recovered. Fingers crossed. It arrived already melted. Oof. It's BBA. Thanks for the advice. Love the content. Excited about your new fish room. Me too. BBA is one that will take longer on the blackout method, but it will, in fact, die. If there's not that much of it, you could spot treat it with hydrogen peroxide, and it'll die off in 2 days. So, yeah. Also, with BBA, if you have a lot of BBA and you do the blackout method, it is going to create a ton of it's just there's gonna be dead BBA like floating around your tank. It's gonna gum up your filters, so just keep that in mind. You may not want to kill it all off at once, which it can get kind of tricky. But yeah, I've done the blackout method on BBA and it was just a total nightmare. So if it's really bad when it all dies, it's gonna be really bad still, but at least it'll be dead. So much spite tonight. I said I was feeling kind of feisty. I warned everyone before the stream, and I feel like I haven't even been feisty. I'm still answering questions, right? Just you know, just I don't know. Number 132. What like number are you? Hit that like button, please. Yes, hit the like. I'm gonna say it every 15 minutes until you do it. Blue Water Jim says I wouldn't trust boosts. Mine all came in dead. Yeah, I don't want to like turn this into like a boost plant bash session, but it does seem like lately, just from what I've seen online, had a friend order from there as well. I don't know what's going on there, but something's going on. Can I have ideas for a 10-gallon tank? Yes, I have. I think a few videos for 10-gallon fish tank ideas, but rasboras are really good, like the fish behind me, the neon blue rasbora. Oh, excuse me. There's so many smaller micro-ish rasbora, strawberry rasbora, chili rasbora, the neon blues behind me. So if you're wanting like a really cool schooling fish, there's definitely rasboras. Clown killies we talked about earlier are really awesome. Pygmy corydoras, shrimp, and then there's some smaller tetras as well, and or maybe a betta fish from KG Tropicals. I don't know. Oh, there's KG Tropicals now. I probably won't get a response, but I just wanted to say hi. Well, I'll say bye because you probably won't get a response. Boost is located in California, I think. Yes. So that might be a part of it lately. Wait, is that like just are you just bashing on California in general? Oh, they're in California. Like, that's probably why. 10 hours and 94 degrees. My fight melted. 10 hours and 94 degrees. My fight melted. Katie Tropicals, are you still in Florida? And congratulations on the whole marriage thing, I guess. So yeah, Katie Tropicals finally got married. I don't know to who. Some never mind. I was gonna make a really bad joke, but I won't. I'll just say congratulations, and I'll shut my mouth and move on. Lisa already hates me enough. Snail Team 6. Hi, Bob. I put crushed coral in my shelly tank. Should I mix it in the sand or just let the molt? You can mix it in the sand, but the multis will just do it anyways. It doesn't really matter. Throughout your tenure in the hobby, what is your biggest regret? Getting rid of fish. I always not feisty. I'm really trying to my fight. I'm Trish. I'm really like legit trying to figure out what you mean. It's got to be a typo, but I can't figure out. 10 hours and 94 degrees. My fight melted. I don't know like what that's an auto like. It's got to be an autocorrect for something, but I don't. Maybe my crypt melted. Crypt is not really close to fight though. That'd be a weird autocorrect. Katie Tropical says we got home a few hours ago. Yeah, from the aquatic experience, right? I'm from Los Angeles, so COVID was just rough for them out there. Was thinking maybe that affected their shipments. I mean, I've definitely had issues with mail coming out of California. Most likely, Big Fly Aquarium says, most likely married his wife. Very astute observation. Very astute. Worst congratulations ever. I know. I almost trolled, but I said, you know what? I better not. I better just keep it on the level. But anyways, KG, I gotta say, I was watching the live streams over the weekend, and it looked a lot like the aquatic experience. There wasn't much Aquashella vibe going on. I know it was Aquashella. I'm just saying, like a big warehouse full of booths. That was very aquatic experience-ish. Not Aquashella-ish. I don't know. I'm not bitter that I didn't get to go, I promise, but still. Starting to feel some regret. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Pink Flamingo Crypt is not really like a great shipper to begin with. So, you know, hopefully it'll do well. Hopefully it'll rebound. I'm not trying to, you know, I don't know. I have faith. It'll be all right. Audrey says, KG Tropicals, nice to meet you and Lisa at Aquashella. Enjoyed your talk. Is that, oh, that's why they got married. They had to. I bet it was like in the Aquashella contract. Like, you're coming here to give a talk on couples in the hobby and you guys aren't even married. That's why. I get it now. I get it. Mostly saltwater booths. Yeah. Yep. I mean, it is in Florida, where almost everything is saltwater anyways. Like, I'd be curious to know the ratio of saltwater to freshwater stores in Florida. It's probably like 100 to 1. Watching the show with Tisket, she doesn't get thrilled by Steen as much as she does Swisky. Watching the show with Tisket. She doesn't get thrilled by Steen as much as she does Swisky. With Tisket? Well, everybody loves Jimmy. Like, that's just a given. He's supposed to come on. Jimmy reached out to me to come on my live stream like a year ago. And I was like, yes, whenever you want, come on my live stream. And I haven't heard from him since. It's been like a year. I haven't even seen him. I don't know what's going on. They wouldn't let people living in sin do the talk. We had no choice. I mean, it is Florida, so it makes sense. I'm just happy we don't have Aquashella type events here. I would have to take a loan just to cover all the stuff I'd buy. There was a lot of complaining online that there wasn't fish to buy. I mean, I've never been to an Aquashella, so I don't know if they're comparing it to past Aquashellas, but there was a lot of disappointment online in the various, you know, fish groups about there not being fish for sale. But again, I wasn't there, so I can't say one way or the other. I've never been to one. At this point, we can only hope. Yep. I guess now the hope is for no delays. All right, mostly saltwater. How many people here were at Aquashella? I'm curious. Is visiting the wet spot worth a 3-hour drive? Caitlin, if you're going to the wet spot, I want to go too. And thanks for the CO2 advice. I'm patient, but not patient enough for that level of grow out. I would say the wet spot. See, there used to be like 3 LFSs like in that whole area, and now I think they're the only one left. Would it be worth it just to go there? I would say yes, because the other 2 weren't even that great, but the wet spot, plus there's a really good, not that you care, but there's a really good steakhouse in Portland that I love going to. Man, 3 hours, so 6 hours with no traffic, mind you. Yeah, I think it would be worth to do it once. I would definitely go with some money to buy some fish, because they do have really good fish and they have a really large selection. So yes, I would say it's worth checking out, and even probably worth like a yearly trip, or, you know, maybe once or twice a year type of thing, because they do have they have rare fish and they have such a huge variety. So yeah, I guess it's probably worth it. Even though, you know, I'm not a big fan of the owner, I'd still say it's probably worth it. I can't lie. I can't let my bias get the better of that of me in that scenario. Bob, why don't you go to them? I'm not rich enough. What are they doing? Like 3 this year? That's like $2,000 per trip. It's just really expensive, and it's not even the airfare. It's the food and the hotels that are just super expensive. The Florida one in general, they're just, I don't know. I wasn't really interested in that Florida one. I'm interested in going to the ALA, which is in Miami this year. Still like 99%. The only thing that would prevent me from going to that is not having a dog sitter. But it's really expensive, and as nice as it would be to meet someone, I'd rather wait till next year when there'd be so many more people next year. This one just seemed really rushed. Like, I could just tell. I mean, they were giving away stuff, like their swag still said Chicago, Illinois on it. Like, it was way too rushed for me to spend that kind of money to go there. So yeah, maybe the other ones won't be that way, but yeah, come to Dallas, please. I don't know. Like, just seeing what I saw over the weekend, I really don't think I'll be going to any Aquashellas this year. But you know, that could change. And it is really expensive. I think I have failed as a fish keeper. I can't friggin' grow duckweed. I mean, that sounds like you win as a fish keeper. That would be the biggest check mark in the biggest win column I've ever made, would be not being able to grow duckweed. Trust me, you don't want that. Adam C, what's up? I think he means you have succeeded. Yeah, exactly. Jacob Hill says, Bob, do you like canister filters, and what are your thoughts on them? I'm not a huge fan of canister filters. I know John is a huge fan of canister filters. If I'm spending the money on a canister filter, honestly, I'd rather just have a sump. The maintenance time on a sump is like 5 seconds. A canister filter is like 20 minutes, and I don't care who you are. Everyone is out there saying, oh, I can do my canister filter in like 2 minutes. Oh, no, you can't. It takes 2 minutes just to wait for it to back siphon out. Like, don't give me that crap. In a sump, you literally take off one piece of batting and put another piece down. Boom, you're done. Also, in a sump, you can use a sump like a frag tank for plants, for like freshwater plants. I used to do that all the time. I would, like on this Anubias right here, I would like clip off a little piece of the rhizome, super glue it to a little piece of wood, put it in the sump, put a little light on there, and boom, you got a whole nother fish tank down there. I've grown shrimp colonies in my sump before. It's just way more fun. So I could spend like 300 plus on an FX6. Hey buddy, I love you too. Or I could buy a 20-gallon tank for like $20 and build my own sump and get a pump and everything for like under 100. Why wouldn't I? Way more fun. I wouldn't do a 20 though. I would do, well, depending on the size of the tank, I would do like a 40. Hey Bob, found a deal for some leased killifish, 24 for $20 on Aquabid, then shipping was another 20. They just got here, 23 adults are good, and I got an extra like 40 something fried. Northwest Fish Keeping, that is an amazing deal. When we were talking about the leased killifish last week or the week before, I was gonna go to Aquabid after the live stream, but I totally forgot. I get distracted by the dogs after the live stream because I gotta take them out, and then we just roll around in the mud for like an hour, and I get distracted. I think people get confused between convention and aquarium gallery. Also, pandemic recovery is patience. It takes time to get back to good. So I don't think they get... So people were definitely confused about the aquatic experience because that was a trade show. Aquashella has been more of like an entertainment show. But looking from what I saw this weekend, it looked like a trade show. Just your run-of-the-mill. We're in a big warehouse. There's booths of vendors that, you know, you can only buy from like half of them. So yeah, I don't know. To me, it was just a lot of money to spend on something that was definitely rushed. So, I mean, that's it. I mean, there's some other small petty reasons, but, you know, they're petty, so I'm not going to say. If you go to Dallas, I will be you as my costume. That sounds horrendous. We don't need any more bald fat guys running around down there, I'm sure. I heard there was a laser show at Aquashella. No, that was just some guy with a laser pen pointing it at people. That's all. And all I can think about is my Melanotanias that freak out and bang into the glass when they turn the light on too fast. Yeah, I don't know. Freaky fish lady says, hope Dallas is better. Russell says, maybe it just wasn't for me. Nicely decorated weirdos does sound appealing. Is the Dallas one, is that on Halloween? I think it is on Halloween, right? Do you believe you will be in Chicago next year? For what? Is there an Aquashella in Chicago next year? There's still 2 more this year, right? One in Texas and one somewhere else. I don't know. I don't plan on going to any of them this year. The only thing I'm trying to go to this year is the American Libraries Association in Miami, and I'm saving all my money to get a hotel room with a suite just for a jacuzzi tub, and I'm gonna sit in that thing for like a day, and then I'm gonna rent a yacht that has a jacuzzi in it, and then I'm gonna sit in that for a day, and maybe I'll go to the ALA for like a minute, and then I'm going back to my yacht. Oh, you're bald? What? Yes, it's Aquashelloween. Aquashelloween. I'm not a big fan of Halloween in general. As far as dressing up, I love going to like Costco and getting like the big giant mega candy bars and giving them away. I think that's fun. But I've never really been one for dressing up. So outside of like giving away crap tons of candy, that's about the only thing I enjoy when it comes to Halloween. Steenfott Aquatics, I'm still holding out for Aquashella, New York. See, if it was in New York, I would go just to go to New York. Like, I wouldn't even care about the show. I would go just to go to New York. And there's a lot of cool people in New York. There's a lot of cool things to see, a lot of cool places to eat in New York. And if I went, I probably wouldn't even go to the show. I would be too busy being a tourist. I mean, I'd have to show up for like a second just so I can write it off as a business expense. A hotel, Ferrari, and a yacht. Next time Aquashella is in Chicago, I did really enjoy the aquatic experience when it was in Schaumburg. I don't know if that's where the aquatic or AQ is, but when AE was there, I did really enjoy Schaumburg. If you're gardening, it was very interesting. Lots of info. I'm going to wait till my 240 to set up so I have room for the fish I can't resist. Luckily, I'm off for the summer starting next week, so I have plenty of time to get working on those. Oh, yeah. Wet spot. I was like, what? Going to the wet spot. You'll definitely want tank space. Like, even when I went, I had wholesale accounts, and I still went and paid retail for fish because they just have fish that you can't get anywhere else. I mean, the owner is one of those old crotchety guys that's been in the hobby for like 300 years. So he has like every connection, has like ins everywhere all over the world. So he does get the really cool fish. I got to give him that. But he is like an old crotchety guy. He's definitely like the old guard type of, if that makes sense. I'm sure someone knows what I'm talking about. It's at the same place as AE, that gigantic hotel. Are you a Jim on Halloween? Yep, 3-hole punch Bob. I've actually done that before at one of my jobs. I just put on a name tag and said Bob. I wasn't creative enough to be 3-hole punch Bob, but I have worn a name tag with my. That's back when I worked retail, and they were like, "Oh, you should dress up," and I'm like, "No, I'm a total Jim for sure." Hey, Steenfott Aquatics, can I freeze fish food? I have a problem with buying more feed, pellets, flakes, Vibrabites, wafers. Don't want the bigger containers to go bad. I would highly recommend putting them in the freezer. Like, it's not gonna, you can't put them in the freezer and like come back like 10 years later, but it'll definitely prolong the life of your fish food. So you're one of those king size candy bars house? Yeah, I spend so much on candy. It's ridiculous. But to me, it's like, I grew up like, I mean, I grew up in like a poor family. I always wanted, you know, candy bar. I couldn't even get a candy bar sometimes. You know, back then they were like a quarter and I still couldn't get them. And I always told myself when I get older, I'm going to be the guy that like just gives away everything to kids. And so that's what I do. So if adding shrimp to an established tank, should you quarantine? It's very rare for something to transfer from shrimp to fish. I mean, almost impossible. Obviously, there's like, you know, there could be some external stuff that gets, you know, that just happens, but it's very rare. Nothing internal will go from shrimp to fish. I've never quarantined. Never had a problem. I'm not saying you should never do it, but the wet spot just sounds wrong. It's a very interesting name for a fish store, and I would highly recommend Googling the wet spot tropical fish if you're Googling it and not just the wet spot. Trust me on that. I was a book face once. You're a book face now. The king size candy bar houses are the best. Yeah, and I've told this story once. Like, me and my buddy, we were at the grocery store, and there was this little kid, and he was just standing there like this, like honestly like this, in the candy aisle, just looking at the candy. And we walked by him, we're like, that's weird. And then we walked by him again, and he was still just standing there like this. And we were like, are you okay? He's like, I only have enough for one candy bar, and I don't know which one to buy. So I gave him $5. I'm like, there you go to town. It's like, I don't know. I don't know. That stuff just kind of makes me happy. I remember one time being at the grocery store with my mom and asking for a candy bar. And she was like, no, we can't afford it. And the guy behind us was like, pick out whichever one you want. It's on me. And of course, my mom was like, no. And he was like, yep. So I got it eventually. Now he was probably just hitting on my mom, but, you know, that's not the part I remember. I just remember him getting me a candy bar, and it was like the coolest thing ever. Some random stranger buying me a candy bar. Bobo, Dragon Lair, what's up, buddy? Semi is staring at me. Wonder if she recognizes your voice. That would be really... I'm not gonna say weird, but that would be a really interesting thing to like research, like Audible, maybe. So if you don't know, I had a female carpet python that I sent to Dragon Lair to breed, and her name was Semi. So yeah, that's the story behind that. Unholy Orders 82 says, what's up, Bob? How long after expiration date on frozen brine shrimp is it still good for? I am very, when it comes to expiration dates, I'm very liberal. If it expires like tomorrow, then in like a month or two, I'll be like, it was frozen. It's still good. I would say as long as it doesn't have like any type of like frost burns or whatever that's called, it's probably still good. I have kept krill for a really long time, and it was really obvious when it was bad. And the only reason I kept it for so long was because none of my fish would eat it, so I've actually never bought frozen krill again. But it was like really obvious, like a freezer burn. It was just bad. So the expiration date on frozen food is pretty subjective, is what I'm trying to say, I guess. Slap a treat out of a kid's hands and say, you remember me forever. It'll change their life. No. Go ahead, buddy. You can do it. The West Spot has a wonky ordering system, but a variety of species and quality is worth the wonkiness. Ugh. Don't even get me started on their website. It's like hasn't been updated since like... Actually, they did update it a couple years ago, but it's still terrible. Have you ever had an ammonia spike? It stinks. Lost 8 fish this week, and I don't even know why it happened. I don't overfeed, tank clean, not overstock. What the heck? Did you actually test it, though? I mean, you said you had an ammonia spike, but it sounds like you know you had it from the smell. There's a few things that can happen to cause ammonia spikes, but you really need to test it to figure out what exactly. Fishymon64 says, Bob, can I use sand for my plants? It kind of depends on the plants, but the overall answer is yes. A little more in-depth answer is some plants have a harder time spreading their roots in fine substrate. So some people will say, you know, you really shouldn't do sand for plants. Other people will be like, I use sand, no problem. And while, yes, you can definitely do it, you're not making it easy on yourself or the plants, but it can be done. Another thing you could do is get like gravel and then cap it with sand. If you really want the sand look, you could do that. I just started with fish. How long to put the new fish in? So the first thing you want to do is buy a test kit. Whether there's liquid test kits, there's like the test strips you can buy. And a cycle can take anywhere from like a couple, you know, like 3 weeks all the way up to like 8 weeks. So you really need a test kit to watch it. You could do like Fritz Turbo Start will add beneficial bacteria to your aquarium, but it's not like guaranteed to just, I put in Turbo Start and now it's cycled. Usually doesn't work that way. It will speed it up though. But I would say you definitely need to get a test kit. It's going to be way cheaper in the long run than replacing dead fish for the next 6 months. So get a test kit for sure. I feel like Bob is always trying to decode every single one of his chats. I don't even know what that means. Oh, some of them for sure. Like, I try to like decode like the autocorrects or the misspelled words. Doesn't always work that way, but I try. Hey, Bob, I was wondering what I should add to my writing. I'm trying to convince the New Zealand government to let people import ornamental tropical shrimp. I have no idea. I don't know, man. You'd have to find out why they're illegal, and then you'd probably, I don't know. Do you have a lobbyist in New Zealand? I don't know. If you do, it's going to be almost impossible. I don't even know where to tell you to start. I know nothing about New Zealand government. Mike, what's up, buddy? Says, I seen where people was selling mangrove plants at Aquashella. Have you ever had any? No. Nope. Well, that's not true. When I had a saltwater tank, I had mangrove in the it was a 29-gallon BioCube, so in the back, you know, the built-in sump. I grew mangrove out of that. It not successfully, like it didn't die, but it never really grew either. And that's my only experience with it. Melinda Lee Bowley says, I'm finishing my business projection, and I was wondering if you have a basic list of store item hard costs to reinforce against my list. Are you wanting like a wholesale price list? Is that what you're asking for? Russell says, anyone in chat go to Aquashella? I think we asked earlier, and if you, I don't know how long ago though, so maybe people will just answer again. Do outdoor ponds cycle season faster? I haven't found that to be true, but I also always seed them. Like I'll take a sponge filter out of a tank and just move it over. So in my experience, like, I don't know that it would or wouldn't, but you should have a test kit either way. I feel like that's the theme of tonight's live stream is test kits. Dear Kiwi Jerks, let us have our shrimps. Jeez. Joel, a New Zealander, a fellow Kiwi. Is that like a bad thing? Joel, is it bad to call someone from New Zealand a Kiwi? Like, I don't know. Is that a derogatory term? I don't even know. Hopefully not, because I've been saying it like 3 times now. Will never happen. MPI just clamped down on it further like 2 years ago. FNZAS are useless, but they are the ones who do the lobbying. So you do have lobbyists there, yeah, so you can't do anything. Um, but you're live streaming. Wait, but you're live streaming on YouTube. You should know everything. I mean, some people think that. Not. I mean, I'm saying like other live streamers think they know everything, and there's people that won't live stream because they claim to know everything in videos, but can't answer them in live streams. Those are my favorite YouTubers. I know hardly anything about this hobby. I have very little experience overall when it comes to the hobby. Even though I've been doing it for like 15 years, there's still a lot of fish that I haven't kept. If it's derogatory, I'm really sorry. I didn't know. I don't know either. Hopefully not. I'm going to lose all my Kiwi subscribers. No, Kiwi is good. All right. I mean, Kiwi is good. Melinda says it is a slur, but Kiwi is good. I don't know. But you never know these days. I mean, I'm not even going to get into it. You just never know. I know you have said you prefer aragonite over crushed coral. Do you have to refresh it like coral? I would think so, but read otherwise. How much do you tend to add per gallon? So aragonite is not as effective as crushed coral. The reason I prefer aragonite is because I think it looks better, and you can also find aragonite in black. Crushed coral to me looks just dirty. Sorry. It's not dirty, but it's just, I don't know. I just don't like the way it looks. It's hard. I can't describe it, but I just don't like the way it looks. So I use aragonite. I would say you probably have to use, and this is just totally random, twice as much as aragonite as you would crushed coral. And I usually add like a 5-pound bag of crushed coral per 10-gallon tank. But again, it depends on what I'm putting in there, what I'm using the tank for, plants, shrimp, fish, whatever. So there's not like really like one set number, if that makes sense. Like every tank should have 25% crushed coral. Like I don't know what your water parameters are. I'm guessing they're pretty similar to mine, but I don't know. Maybe you're on a well. So, I don't know. If I remember correctly, when I was in Australia, the people from New Zealand I met called themselves Kiwis. Well, then I guess it can't be a bad thing. Bob, Corey, KG Tropicals and Prime Time seem real. They tell you they don't know when they don't know. So there's definitely real people in this community. And I would say Corey, John, and Jason they're definitely on top. I mean, Corey just knows like everything about everything. John, he's just a real dude. He's a dummy, but he's a real dude. I'm just kidding, John. Love you. And Jason, I mean, that dude's has 18 PhDs. So, can't go wrong there. I've met them all many times. Obviously Corey, but I met John now and Jason, and they're all really just down to earth. They're definitely, I mean, no one in this arena of fish tube is exactly how they are online. Like if you meet me in person and we become friends and we talk a lot, I mean, I'll be honest, I do swear more than I do on a live stream. And that's what I mean by like, no one is actually 100% who they are, because none of us swear because there's kids, right? So that's what I mean about that. What about Dean? What do you mean? Like as far as being real? Oh yeah. How Dean is in videos is how he is, but again, just probably more swearing and more jokes that are not family friendly, and that goes for, I mean, that's everyone really. All of us try to keep it, PG for the most part. I slip every once in a while, but they're pretty good about it. Anyways, Christine Richardson with the $5 super chat. Thank you. It was a joke. It was a joke. Dean is above them all. I think everybody has their special areas, their areas of expertise. Some people, that's just a lot broader than other people. Like my area of expertise is, I mean, like this. Dean's like way out here. Like I'm not even on the screen. So compared to Dean, like my area of expertise is definitely thin. But we all have our specialties, and we're all good at certain things. And eventually, you keep doing it, and you get better at more things. Like your area of expertise expands over time. I don't think any of that made sense, but that's what I'm sticking to. Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite episodes of The Coincidence. Was too good to pass up. One of my favorite episodes and The Coincidence. I believe Bob and I would be great friends for a few weeks until we pissed each other off because we're so much alike. I don't really get pissed off at friends. Like, I don't know. Like, if you're in my inner circle, like, we're either going to punch it out or hug it out, and then we're going to go hang out and have fun. Like, those are the two options. It's always been that way. The name will stick one day. Let's see. Want to apologize for sounding rude earlier. I didn't mean to come off that way. Noob to the channel and online aquarium hobby. Just got back into it after being away from fish keeping for a while. Blue Cat, I don't remember you being rude. If I don't remember being you rude, then I might have just been trolling you. Because I don't remember anyone really being rude here tonight. What should I say or do to convince my parents to let me set up another tank? I already have two. Just do it and see if they even notice. I mean, it's going to be a little bit harder than with two. Like, they might notice a third one. When I was a kid, when I got up to like a dozen tanks, like, they didn't even notice when I got another one. They didn't notice if I took two down, if I added four. Like, it just, my whole wall in my bedroom was tanks. So that's the goal. You need to get it to a point where they just don't even notice. And you know what? The old saying, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. So my advice, do some extra chores. You know, first of all, get the tank, then maybe do some extra chores, make sure you're doing good in school, you know, make sure you're on the right path. And when they say, you got three, you got another fish tank, and they start yelling at you, then you just say, well, it could be drugs. Like, well, would you rather me be addicted to fish or drugs? Like, let's be real here. I mean, that's my advice. I'm not saying it's good advice, but friends don't shake hands. Friends gotta hug. Gotta hug it out. Can solve any problem with a good hug. Are white clouds a good fish to keep out year round? I was planning about 100 to 150 gallon Rubbermaid tub and would probably ice over. So again, it depends on where you are, but I'm in Washington State. We usually get like one really cold snap in the winter where it's down in like the teens. And my white clouds did just fine. There was like 4 inches of ice on the tub, and you know, they did just fine. So yeah, and if you're in like Minnesota or something where it's way colder, or North Dakota, maybe not, but yeah, here in Washington, not a problem. That's how I got one of my dogs. Texted them a pic of her and said, we'll be home in 3 hours if you want to stay up and meet her. They were mad, but not for long. Exactly. You just got to say, they're rescue fish. I rescued them. They were on the side of the road in an aquarium. They were going to die. I had to bring them home. This community is better than any other hobby communities. I agree. There's, in other areas of the intertubes, there's definitely a lot more toxicity in hobbies. And like, even in like the micro hobbies, like even if you just switch over to reptiles, like reptiles, I mean, there's all kinds of toxicity in reptiles. So I would say this is definitely one of the better ones for sure. So debating on doing German blue rams, 42 gallon or epistogramma. Thoughts? So I would think about your tank mates. I would think about the temperature, because German blue rams are going to want it way warmer than epistogrammas. And then I would think about the cost. German blue rams are fairly inexpensive. And then what you're going to do if you're trying to breed them. German blue rams are going to be way easier to get rid of than epistogrammas. Food for thought. But I would consider everything in the aquarium, the plants and what the tank mates are, and then I would decide. Like, if you're truly like 50-50 on epistos versus German blue rams, then you got to think the entire tank. Like, what else is going in there? And make sure that they're going to be able to handle the warmer weather, like lower 80s for German blue rams. My whole living room is a wall of 40 breeders. I mean, that sounds pretty sweet. That's some. Can I hire your interior decorator? I don't. Sounds like that was a really good interior decorator. I know we all just get along. Us questions and wait. I know we all just get along. Questions and forgive each other. It's not hard to be humble, and that's lost on a lot of people. Make Apistos great again. Well, they were always great. I know you love saying that, but to be honest, Apistos were always great. Not always popular, but always great. Can you add discus to a 65-gallon community tank? Can they be kept with cory cats and neon tetras and guppies? So, discus is another one of those fish that like it warm. So you're going to be in the 80s. So depending on what cory cats, if you have like panda cories, not going to go over well. But if you have like stir-bite cories, you know, they can go up into the 80s. Neon tetras, they can definitely handle those temperatures, but you're going to reduce their life cycle up in the 80s, so they just won't live as long. And guppies probably will get eaten. Like the fry definitely would. Yep, we all love each other unconditionally in the fish fam. I wouldn't go that far. But yeah, it's a great community. Like, I love live streaming. If I didn't get punished on YouTube, I would live stream like every single day. I'd be like, oh, I got an extra hour. Let's live stream. Because I love hanging out with you people. Does anyone know a way to increase Wi-Fi speed? I try to upload videos at home and it takes decades. Yes, get your parents to call your internet service provider and up your data package. I don't know what kind of internet you Kiwis have, but I mean, I'm on 1 gig up and 1 gig down, and it takes like a second to upload a video. In the rare occasion that I actually upload a video, I haven't been doing much uploading lately, but when I do, it takes like a second, and it's great. Sarcasm is extra dry via text. I love dry sarcasm. I'm keeping a bluegill in a 10-gallon tank. I don't know that will work long term, but all right. Curtis Schindler with the $1 super chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. I agree. Apistos are awesome. Yep. I hope to breed them when the new fish room is done. Somebody asked me how the new fish room is coming along. Very slowly. Why don't you live stream 2 times a week? I do. Just one is for members only. I got to do something for the members. So I do live stream once a week for them. I really like the members only live streams because 1, I don't get in trouble for copyright content, and 2, it's a lot more one-on-one. So there's usually like 30 people there, and it's just, we rarely ever talk about fish, so you're not missing out on anything. So don't get mad that members are getting extra content, because we rarely talk about fish. So sarcasm is my specialty. It's like punching someone in the face with words. So yeah, I mean, I could live stream twice a week, but YouTube is still not really on board with live streaming unless it's news or gaming. So I don't know. I probably should do live streaming twice a week since I'm not uploading very much right now, but I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Just an old guy who has kept live things for 60 years. It took me a few years to get my first pets. There's a cell phone booster thing that's a couple $100. If your phone has the ability, you can turn it into a hotspot. We get 5 gigs in the mountains and no internet, all through our phone. Nice. Jackson Tax, hello. I'm just glad I had the day off, going to 10s this week, so time will be gone. You're going from 5/8s to 4/10s? That sounds amazing to me. My last job, we fought. Oh man, did we fight over getting 4/10s. It was like a year-long fight, and we finally got them. I love 4/10s. Oh, it's Michael Scott. Says, hello, I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm building a big backyard pond. I would like to keep paradise fish in my pond year-round. Is that possible? If it's big enough and you can keep it cool enough, then yes, it is possible. Just remember, paradise fish, They're kind of a subtropical species, so they don't like really hot water, like 70, like upper 70s, low 80s. Really, once you start getting into the 80s, you're gonna have problems with paradise fish. So yeah, if it's deep enough, then you should be able to keep it cool enough. Well, I don't know. I mean, it gets pretty hot in Las Vegas. So maybe if you're able to shade it and it's deep enough, maybe you'll be able to do it. Well, actually, the problem with paradise fish is they're still going to have to come to the surface. I don't know. Big backyard pond. If it was deep enough and shaded, maybe. I can't give you a yes or no. Daryl Deemer with the $5 super chat. Deemer, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, my friend. So I just learned you have premium to be a member. You have to have premium to be a member to a channel. I don't think that's true. I was members to lots of channels before I got premium. Curtis says, no, you don't, Kenny. I don't. See, there you go. They're probably just trying to sell you premium. Or maybe that's one of those Apple things, because Apple's stupid. I do 410s and I get it done in 6. One of my favorite jobs was, this is what you have to do today, and when you get it done, you get to go home. There was nothing motivated me like getting out of work. Like, oh man, it's like you could pay me more and I'll just sit around, or pay me less and let me go home when the work for the day is done. Oh, that was great. Smuggled some pink Danios from Mexico. They aren't glowfish, but they look super colorful. Pink Danios from Mexico, huh? Like from a store or like wild caught? That can't be right. Mexico? Must be store bought. It's the ads. I have premium because I hate ads. I have fallen in love with premium just to be able to download YouTube videos and watch them offline. To me, that right there makes it totally worth it. Working from home as a salaried employee is heaven. I don't know if I could technically be called a salaried employee, but working from home for yourself, to me, is heaven. Making me money, not some other random guy way up the food chain money, but working from home, making me money. That's heaven. Any recommended planting tank substrates and any brands that should be avoided? Blue Cat. So I don't know what I call it my favorite, but I really like Eco Complete as a planted substrate. I would say it's probably my favorite, like all around. The last time I used fluorite, it was insanely dirty. It was so dirty that I had to just take it out of my tank. And that was with washing it beforehand. So I haven't tried fluorite in a long time. Things like fluval stratum can just wreak havoc on your tanks with ammonia. It does leach ammonia. So you can have problems for like the first 6 months. There's definitely times when you won't have any problems, but if you don't have enough plants to uptake that ammonia, I mean, you're going to be doing a ton of water changes for like the first 6 months. So I don't really like fluval stratum. It's good for plants, but just I don't like to deal with that. So kind of my go-to is either Eco Complete, which is about $23 for a 20-pound bag, or Dirt, which is way cheaper. However, it's probably not best for beginners. I wouldn't recommend Dirt for a beginner. I was doing karate over Zoom, and the Wi-Fi would always cut out at 6 at some point. My sensei said, yeah, people keep telling me I should buy a router. How was he even running Zoom? There's a lot of things that people don't realize when it comes to routers. Like even operating, like turning on your microwave could kill your Wi-Fi. It's not too common anymore with the new routers, but I mean, there was a time, because they both operate at 2.4 gigahertz. So I remember people always having issues with their routers. And I'm like, they're like, it always happens around like 5 or 6, generally when people are making dinner, right? And I would always say, well, are you running your microwave? Well, yeah, well, it always cuts out for just like a minute or two. Well, that's why. Good to know. I was always considering Fluval. Yeah, I just feel like it's a bit overpriced, but I don't know. I'm trying to say that without any bias. I feel like it's kind of overpriced. Yeah, I still use fluorite, but I have to treat it like dirt because of the mess. Exactly. I mean, to me, in this day and age, we shouldn't have that problem. If they're still making a substrate that is that dirty, like they're just not. They just don't care. I started my tanks this time around with fluorite. I rinsed 6 bags for 2 hours using a strainer and buckets, nonstop rinsing until it ran clear. It's still incredibly dusty in the aquarium. Yeah, I'm glad to know it's still that way, so I can say that when people ask. But I wish it wasn't. Like, why can't they fix that? It is by far the dirtiest substrate. Like, I've never had that happen with dirt, but with fluorite, it's ridiculous. What video should I do to grow my small community on YouTube, or trends in fish keeping videos? I wouldn't worry about it, man. Just do what's fun. Make videos that are fun. Be authentic and make videos that are fun. People will follow. I mean, there's some things about quality. Like, there are some people, like, I won't watch a video if it's in like 360p. I just won't. So there's definitely some, quality snobs like me. But yeah, just at this point, for how small your channel is, just do what's fun and people can relate to that. It's a show series on HBO. It has Kate Winslet as a detective cop, lots of twists. Kate Winslet. That's a name I haven't heard since Titanic. I didn't even know she was still in the business. What's my favorite substrate? So it depends on what I'm doing. So I have a few. There's a landscaping yard by me that has it's called like Mexican River Rock or something. It's pretty small gravel, like between 1/8 and 1/4. I really love that stuff. I love lapis luster sand is one of my favorites. For planet tanks, it's definitely Eco Complete or dirt. And dirt capped with I've done dirt capped with Eco Complete before. I've pretty much done every combination possible. Fluorite is just a mess. Fluorite is a mess. Where are you finding black aragonite? I can't find it at Petco or PetSmart. So I actually got it from Aquarium Co-op, who had to special order it themselves. So it is really hard to find. And yeah, so it's also the reason they don't carry it is because it's not always available, because it's pretty rare. It's pretty hard to find. I had to wait like a year before I found it. So yeah, I shouldn't even said it was black. Just honestly, I would pretend it doesn't even exist, because it is going to be really hard to find. But at the same time, keep looking. you probably are never going to see it at Petco or PetSmart, though. That's definitely going to be like some Google searching. You're going to have to pay to have it shipped in type of thing. Alex Parker says, I've never used dirt before. Sounds fun. Any recommended dirt? So I use the Fox Farm Ocean Forest. That is my favorite dirt. You definitely have to cap it because it has, is it perlite? Whatever it is, the white balls that float to the top. So you have to cap it, but you should be capping dirt anyway, so it's not that much of a problem. But that's my favorite. That's the only one I've used, actually. I've had such good luck with it. I've had no need to try anything else. Now, it's more expensive than like your standard bag of like Miracle Grow organic, but I think it's worth it. It has like bat guano in it, which and worm casings, and just a lot of stuff in it that's really good. I'm the same. If the video quality is horrible, I have a hard time watching. Yeah. I feel like in this day and age, with all the cell phones that are out there, you should at least be able to do like 480 is watchable if the video is good. But if it's not a good video, I'm not gonna watch it. Let's say like if a creator puts out a video that I normally watch, and this time it's in 480, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna watch it. So if it was like a new creator, I would watch it and check it out and see you know, how good the content is as far as like the actual video, but I don't know. I don't have a lot of patience when it comes to pixels. My pixel patience is very poor. Poor pixel patience. I don't know. I'm stupid. Why you guys even listen to me? Do you have or have you ever done terrestrial plants coming out of the top of your tank like Danny does? Oh, I was going to show you a picture, but the plants are green, and I have a green screen, so that doesn't work. So, yeah, sometimes I do let... They're not terrestrial. Terrestrial. Sometimes I do let my aquatic plants grow out of the top of the aquarium, and I think that's really cool. That's one of my favorite things to do. Christine Richardson says sound quality is just as important. Yeah. Yep. Sometimes, like, I've deleted entire videos multiple times just because the sound quality was bad. And I have videos that have done well with really poor sound quality, and that's because I feel like the video and the content carries the poor sound quality. But most of the time, I'll just delete an entire video and I won't even publish it if the audio is bad. Bob, when your channel gets mysteriously blacklisted this week, it's because you talked trash about their premium pricing. Did I? I thought I said I was for premium. I said it was Apple that has stupid pricing, not Google. It is definitely Apple. They add an extra $1 to your channel memberships if you do it from an iPhone. So a channel membership instead of $5 is $6. They just take $1 right off the top. However, if you're on your Apple phone and you go to a browser, then it's only $5. So I just hate Apple so much. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Google either, but anytime Apple has to do something to get along with Google, like YouTube, they just charge a fee. And they don't need to. They don't need to be jerks. Poor Pixel. Draglair, my friend uses Happy Frog for his huge queen palms. They're absolutely glorious. Oh, are we talking about Fox Farm? Bob, I use Happy Frog potting soil capped with mortar sand. I've looked at the Happy Frog one too, but I've just had such good luck with Ocean Forest that I haven't had a reason to like deviate from the plan. I had an issue a few months ago. I got rid of almost entirely by manually removing it during a water change, doing a thorough gravel plant vacuum, and then adding some algae killer. Alex says debating switching to Android. I'm so over Apple. I mean, realistically, they both have their pros and cons, and they both have a long list of cons. But I don't know. Is one better than the other? I don't know. Beta fin tail rot. Use salt bath. Use Melifix, Pimafix, even erythromycin. Am I ready to give up? Help, please. Fin rot is actually not that hard to deal with. You don't need any fancy chemicals. You just need super clean water. So that's what I would focus on. I wouldn't give up. I would focus on making that water as crystal clear, clean, all of it. As best you can without losing your cycle. Like, you don't want to be doing 100% water changes every day and lose your cycle. You don't want to be introducing fluoride and chlorine every single day. But definitely make sure there's no mulm. There's, algae's all right, perfectly fine. But you just want to make sure that mulm and debris in general is cleaned up. And I've had great luck with beta fin rot by just keeping that water crystal clear. There's a Lake Tanganyika documentary on YouTube that's about 100p resolution, but still worth the watch. Yeah, that's probably the one that I talk about all the time, where the multifasciata attacks an alligator. It's crazy. Okay, what do we have here? But yeah, I also have that Lake Tanganyika documentary on DVD, so I think that's like I can watch it on YouTube knowing that I've already seen it in better quality. I also have a Lake Malawi documentary on DVD, but I don't even have a DVD player anymore. So even my computer doesn't have a DVD player. Oh boy. Long time no see. I've been missing out. Yep. You have been missing out because our live streams have been on fire lately. I think that's some of that sarcasm again. It's a super doctored picture of a regular Australian rainbow. Yep, it is. But to be fair, I didn't do the doctoring this time, and they still look really good. So don't let the contrast being turned to the max by whoever took and uploaded this photo like convince you not to get them. Australian rainbow fish look really good. Just takes a really long time. My tank is completely overrun by green string algae. Should I do a blackout, get SAE, or Florida flagfish? So in my experience, green string hair algae is really easy to manually remove. I mean, it's going to take time, like a half hour. I don't know how much you have, but it's really easy. You could get like an old toothbrush and stick it in there and just do this. You can do, I don't know, like needle nose pliers, and you just twirl it around, and it'll like suck it up even out of the substrate, out of the plants, and you just manually remove it that way. And then you feed less and do more water changes. And that's how you get it to go away permanently. Yes, Melanotania are still the shiz nizzle. That is not my word, but that's someone else's comment. Shiz nizzle. Is that a Gary Lang, the logo? My logo, no. And the thumbnail, also no. K-Stu says, I saw some Madagascar rainbows at the LFS. Pretty interesting. Super awesome. If you like torpedo-shaped fish, those are the rainbows for you. If you want a rainbow fish and you want a fish that's long, skinny, cylindrical, Madagascar rainbows are the ones. They're super awesome. They're really cool and like a large school. They will get a lot bigger than you realize, though. A lot of times in fish stores, they're maybe like 2 inches. They will get a good like 6 inches when they're adults. So just keep that in mind, like 5-6 inches. They get pretty big. And maybe not, maybe like 4 to 5 inches. I might be exaggerating at 6 inches, but they just get a lot bigger than you think. Deborah says, hi, everyone. Forgot to say hi earlier. Oh, I think I'm going to slouch. Oh, yeah, that feels good. I've been told shrimp love hair algae. Shrimp do like hair algae. It just takes a lot of shrimp to eat a lot. If you have a lot of hair algae, you're going to need a lot of shrimp. Put the hair algae in a container with tank water. Next day, retrieve your fry baby shrimp. Zen Ginger, your previous videos look really good. Just subscribed. Just subscribed to Zen Ginger. Have you kept pike killifish? Negative. Most BA live bear ever. Oh, excuse me. No, I've never kept them. Never kept them. What's the next species you haven't kept yet that you want or plan on keeping? Ooh, that's a good question. I'm just going to assume that it's going to be a species of Corydoran or a species of Apisto. Both of those are like really high on my list of fish that I want to breed in the new fish room, and I definitely want to go with ones that I haven't bred before. I can't give you a specific, but I want to do stuff that I haven't done before. And I want to do Apistos, and I want to do Corydoras. So it's going to come down to one of those things where I get the wholesale list, and whatever I haven't kept before, that's what I'm going to buy. Or not kept, but bred before. That's what I'm going to buy. I got a pair of thread fins yesterday, and the male is spectacular. Yeah, if you get a group of them, they're even better. Even better. Are you testing out the new Aquarium Co-op Lite? I'm sure I would be able to if I asked, or if they got extra. Yeah, I would probably get one. I don't want to say too much about it because I don't know what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say. But I would say I would probably test one out if there was one available. I can imagine that a lot of them are going to go to Dean to test out, but yeah. Carrie Science Gal Aquatics. Hi, Bob and everyone. Hello, hello. Thanks for stopping by. Looks like you had fun last weekend from the few live streams I caught. I got some orange laser cories and Venezuelan orange cories recently, and they're spectacular. The Venezuelan seems to be very small species, though, as they're staying very small. They should grow out. I wouldn't say they're a bigger species of Corydora, but they're definitely not like a smaller species. So they should grow out for you. They should definitely grow out. Ruben says, it's kind of sad living in New York. I have a tab of Google Maps Street View set looking at the co-op retail store picture from probably 6 years ago. Breaking news, Bob Steenfott breeds panda cories. I'm going for it, Paul. You better believe it. In the new fish room, I have different water parameters. I'm going for it. I'm trying it again. For those you don't know, I've had terrible luck with panda cories. Every time I've gotten them, they have always died off slowly over time. And I've just the worst luck. So, but you better believe I'm trying again. Can I add a single tail goldfish with my 2 Ryukins in a patio pond? Sorry, so many silly questions. Don't ever apologize for questions. That's why I am here. That's why people in the chat are here. I mean, a lot of people are here just to listen, but a lot of people also like to engage and help. So there's a lot of people that know a lot of stuff here. So never feel bad about asking questions. There are no silly questions. I will answer the same question over and over and over. Well, as long as it's to a different person. So yeah, never feel bad. I would say it would definitely depend on the size of your pond. So if it's large enough, then yes, I would have no problems doing that myself. My bristlenose have been breeding every few weeks. Sounds about right. Only seem to have 1 fish survive each batch, unfortunately. I think we're going to try removing them next time to a different grow out tank. I would ask, what are you feeding them? And if you're not doing zucchini, I would keep zucchini in there like round the clock. That's usually, I mean, bristlenose love zucchini. They love cucumbers. So either one of those, actually, I would keep in there. You just stick it on a fork. The fork will sink down to the bottom, and they go crazy over it. If you already tried that, then I don't know what to tell you. You're breeding panda cories, not polar bear cories. See, panda bears are very angry, but polar bears are also very angry, but at least they swim in the water. Thank you very much. We'll go check his site. Does anyone have a link to his site? Whose site? I do have a link to Dan's Fish site. I am an affiliate, so I would appreciate it if you use that link. That would help me out. If you're gonna buy fish there anyways, I'll even link it again. There you go. Science Gal Aquatics. How was yeah, let's get Carrie's opinion on Aquashella here. And you know, don't hold back. Be honest. Michael Faulkner with the $5 super chat says, here's to getting my Australian rainbows to look like that. They are really underrated. Look great in my planted 40 long. I really want to do an outdoor tub of Australian rainbow fish. I think they're awesome. You know, I can't put them in like a top 10 or a top 15 list, but that doesn't mean that they're not awesome. They're still really, really cool fish. And thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate it. Sharon Miller, what's up? Says, hi, Bob, Tiffany, Dragon Layer, and Carrie, and everyone else, screw off. Just kidding. She didn't say that. The single tail will be faster. Sorry, fat thumbs. Yeah, I would say, like, with goldfish in general, definitely make sure they're all getting food. We'll try the zucchini or cucumber, but it's 146 gallon with medium-sized angels and rainbows. Think the bushy-nosed babies may be getting eaten in the beginning. Possibly with... Possibly the angels, but armored catfish are generally not preyed upon that much. Especially... Yeah, I mean, they're small, but... I feel like if angelfish were eating bushy-nosed plecos, I feel like eventually you'd have one that gets stuck in the throat and you would see it. Just with their spikes and I don't know. maybe like picking off like one or two, but I feel like eventually like you would definitely have one stuck in their throat. I would think that they're probably starving out. In a large tank like that, it's really hard for a small fish to find food. So maybe get like a big zucchini, cut it in half, and put one half on each end of the tank, and maybe that'll help. But I don't know. I would feel like they're probably starving out and not getting eaten by angelfish. Like I said, there might be one or two, but I mean, they get like 30 or 40 a spawn, and for angelfish to eat all those without like one getting stuck, I feel like would be pretty rare, especially if it's happened over multiple spawns. Regina Flange says, I had to rehome my Madagascars. They got huge. Yes. Yeah, when you see them in the store and they're like an inch and a half, 2 inches, and they look really cute. They still look really good when they're big, but they get big for sure. Matt, are you bragging, Matt? My panda cory spawn, but only a few eggs at a time. Okay, maybe they just have smaller spawns. They only lay eggs if I have leaf litter in the tank. Eggs are on the underside of the leaves, so they're probably getting eaten, and the ones that are on the underside of the leaves are just probably not getting found. But you should still have pretty good spawn size with panda cories. How do I get rid of blue-green algae? I black out the tank for about 3 to 4 days. So I put a towel or a sheet or a blanket, something over the tank, turn off the lights for about 3-4 days, and it'll all die off. If you have plants, they'll survive just fine. Cherry shrimp with 1/2 inch baby platies. I thought it would work, but the shrimp seem to be disappearing. Time to move them. Yeah, I think the thing that you have to worry about with platies is that they'll keep like picking at a shrimp until they like pick it to death, and then they can just piece it out, eat a piece at a time. That's great advice, Steenfott Aquatics. I'll definitely add the zucchini and cucumbers to the daily diet. Really appreciate it. And then the nice thing, I would do zucchini over cucumbers. Zucchini seem to like rasping on zucchini more than cucumbers, but either will probably honestly work. And the nice thing is you can keep them in the tank. Like you could put one in the evening and then remove it the next day, and it's not gonna foul your water. It doesn't break down that fast, so it's a good food to leave in there overnight. Plecos are nocturnal. Once I started a fresh veggie feeding, like Bob said, I had way more plecos than I want. Yeah, yep. It makes a huge difference with, and that's just not bushy nose plecos either. I was actually on the phone with Dan's Fish last week, and we were talking about this briefly, where he uses zucchini and almost all of his plecos. So, well, I'm not going to speak for him, but that was his solution to getting many pleco fry to eat was zucchini. So yeah, can't go wrong. Also, it's about that time. Don't forget to hit the like. I haven't said it in like 47 minutes, so I'm saying it now. I'm obligated to say hit the like button. So hit the like button. Okay, I'm going to sit up now. I can't slouch that much anymore. It's a shame. Such a shame. What else we got? Categories. Right, have to go, Steenfott. Enjoy every one of your streams. Bye, everyone. Fish Kid 61. You should be Fish Kiwi 61. I feel like Kiwi is such a cool name. Like, man, I'd be proud to be a Kiwi. I think so. The odd thing about the baby platies don't peck at the blue dream shrimp, just the red. Red is an aggressive color. So maybe they're just angry, right? If you're red, you're dead. That's an old gaming term. Because normally when you game, your opponent's name is in red. Anyways, enough of that. I leave zucchini till it's gone. About 3 days. Never fouls my tank. Yep. I mean, I never really go more than like 1 day. If it's like a grow out tank, then I'll leave it in there until it's gone for sure. But if it's like an actual community tank, then I won't. Have I ever kept honeycomb catfish? I like them, but don't know much about them. Can they go in a community tank? Yes, as long as you don't have like super duper like micro like chili or strawberry raspboras. Even that would be pretty hard for them to pick off. But yes, I've done honeycomb catfish. They're really cool. I would highly recommend them. And like, well, I don't even think they would go after rasboras. Maybe if you had like shrimp, they would maybe pick off like baby shrimp. But yeah. Has zucchini become better than canned green beans? I don't know that I would say that I prefer one over the other. There was a time when I would be like, canned green beans are the miracle food. But zucchini is definitely doing really well. Like, everything seems to love zucchini. Been lurking, finally got a moment to sit down with the laptop. Hello, Fish Fam. Hello, John. Actually, the red is dead is from post World War II. Well, that's before my lifetime, so it doesn't really count. Just saying. And I'm obviously kidding. Bob, did you beat your record once again for remaining on fish topics? Yeah, I mean, we've talked about... Have we even talked about anything that's not fish related? We talked about YouTube, but it was fish YouTube. There's no way I made it this whole stream and staying on topic. We had to talk about something different for once. I don't know. What other fish like raw veggies, guppies? There's a lot of fish that will like graze on it, but I don't know that I would say they like it. But almost anything will graze on it. Just in case I do get a live plant from my order, do pink flamingo crypts need higher light, or is it just bright pinks? So the higher light will help you with getting more color out of it, but it doesn't really need it. I don't know. In my opinion, there's not really any crypt that needs highlight, but if you want to get like the crazy colors out of it, then you do the highlight and the CO2 and maybe some iron, but I don't know. In my experience, I haven't needed iron to make crypts color up. French cut green beans go faster in my Pleco tanks, but zucchini is easier to feed. I feel like he is overdue for a rant. The feisty is gone. I was very close to ranting a few times today. Very, very close. Very, very close. I had to hold back. And I'm proud of myself. Angels love green beans. Yeah, even like my rainbow fish, I had to stop doing the canned bean greens in my rainbow fish tank because the rainbows would go after it and then they would get stuck in their throats. And there's nothing more annoying than trying to catch a rainbow fish out of a tank and having to pull out string beans out of its mouth. For what it's worth, my gold white clouds eat all the fry within a day of hatching as well. You did good, Bob. Good night, everyone. Hey, if I got Trish's stamp of approval, then I am A-okay. We did a good job staying on topic. Have a good night, Trish. I appreciate you stopping by. Oh, now I can rant. Trish is gone. I can rant. We can talk about anything now. I'm just kidding. Oh, boy. My water is empty, which means it is almost time to end. Rooftop tent, off topic. Oh, man. I saw somebody selling a rooftop tent for like $4,300 on Facebook Marketplace. I'm like, never going to happen. Never. Well, I guess he bought it, so clearly someone is that stupid, but man, don't even get me started on rooftop tents. Don't. Did we pass 200 likes? Awesome. I haven't even been paying attention. I've just been asking for them, and I don't even know how many we have. My new betta has a death wish. Stuck his face in a shrimp hide and has a scrape, then jumped out of the tank today. Any advice on helping him heal up? Just clean water. I'm telling you, that's all you need. Clean water. So, do your vacuum gravel. Make sure there's no, just mulm in general. Just keep it clean. It'll heal. You could do a little bit of salt if you want, but I would do that. I would do any salt or medication. I would do as like a last ditch effort if the clean water is not clearing it up after a couple days. Rainbows will give a sack of rocks a run for the money. Yeah. Beastie Boys. Don't get me started on that one either. You guys are trying. Awful. They're awful. Serious question. If a fish split its tail in a fight squabble, leave it alone or treat and heal? Leave it alone. I tend to be like, what would they do in the wild? There's not someone in the wild that would sit there and treat it and put it in a quarantine tank. Now, if you're starting to get like fungus and stuff like that, then yes, I would take it out and treat it. But fish fight in the wild all the time, and they do just fine. I've never worried about it, unless if you start getting that white fungus, then yeah, take it out. Otherwise, just let it be. What calcium should I add to my new shrimp tank that won't hurt guppies or fog the water? So guppies love calcium. Most live bears love calcium. So I wouldn't really be worried about your guppies at all. And it's going to depend on like how much calcium do you need. It's not like there's too many parameters. To just be like, put in 2 cups per 10 gallons. Like where's your hardness at now? Is it even calcium that's making it hard? Yeah. Honestly, like have you put shrimp in the tank and not have them survive, or like what is leading you to believe that you need more calcium? Generally, in my experience, shrimp don't need extra calcium, and this is coming from someone with the softest Seattle RO water you could ever have out of the tap, and I don't add calcium. Beastie Boys, Led Zeppelin, LeBron James. Oh boy, gosh, he is the worst. Had a guy at work today think I'm absolutely crazy for putting Jurassic Park in my top 5 movies. I mean, it's your top 5 movies. Like, if somebody said Beastie Boys was in their top 5 bands, I'd be like, okay, I think they're terrible, but that's your list. Like, I have to respect your list. Like, they wouldn't even make a top 10,000 on my list, but that's my list. I wouldn't judge someone for someone else's list. Unless they put LeBron James as the best ever. And then I just know you need to be institutionalized. Lots of people break up fish fights too early. Usually they need a day or two to hash out differences and figure out who the boss is, and then it's just fine. Yeah, I mean, you see it all the time in African cichlids. Like, just, someone is always trying to be the top dog in your African cichlid tanks. They fight a lot. They usually, disappear. The loser will disappear for a day or two and recover, and then they're just fine. I wish, no worries. Chicago is a go. Oof, I can't get a yacht in Chicago. That's the problem. I love Fish Host. Are you talking about me? I hope you're talking about me. The first Jurassic Park is a phenomenal movie. It is really good. It is a good movie. What are water parameters of your new fish room compared to the old one? Much different. So, it's going to be difficult. Well, actually, it's not going to be difficult at all. But there is a well, and there is also city water for if the well runs dry. So, yeah. If the well runs dry, then I'll be back to the typical soft water. If it doesn't, then I'll get some harder water, which I'm kind of looking forward to, and I'm kind of hoping it's like a mix of both. But I'm going to have to be there a while to figure out how much of a water change is it going to take before it'll click over. I don't even know how big the well is. Is it 10,000 gallons? Is it 10 gallons? I don't know. Yeah, I'll probably just have to monitor it really closely for the first year, which I just got my aquarium co-op test strips in, so it'll be easy. Beastie Boys was a good style, but not a band. Nothing was good about Beastie Boys. I'm telling you, nothing. I think Beastie Boys aren't a good band, but some of their songs can be fun to listen to at parties. So I just don't think they're if they're writing the song and composing the music, then I will say they're talented. But if someone, I don't know enough about them because they're terrible. But if someone else was writing the songs and composing the music, then I'll say they're terrible. That's one of those bands where you could put any couple of dudes in there to just scream as loud as they can and make music. That's all it is. They're just screaming. So that's why I say that. And I really feel like I'm being pretty honest and, you know, not getting any personal biases in there. I just feel like anyone could do what they did when it comes to singing. Like, there's no talent in their singing. But anyways, that's just me. I enjoyed your water testing video. Very interesting at Fish Tank Barn. I'm in Houston, Texas. I have hard water. I keep hearing mystery snails and shrimp need extra calcium, but they are doing good. All have own food. No. If you have hard water, you probably don't need to add calcium. I'm going to be right back. I think I'm going to go a little longer tonight, so I do have to take a break. So I'll be right back. Nope. This one. This is the one I want. My water jug is almost empty. Gotta go get some more water. Okay. Brian says weird. Hey, Bob is a music snob. Beastie Boys are a classic. No, there's nothing good about Beastie Boys. Nothing. And I feel like I'm being pretty fair about that. Like, if we want to go to the opposite aisle, and this will be the last I talk about music, so I won't bore you too much, but like Prince. I am not a fan of Prince, or well, I'm a fan of Prince, but I don't like his. I don't really care for his music. Like, there's not a Prince song that I would turn on and just like rock out to over and over and over. Not gonna happen. But Prince is one of the most talented people to ever be in the music industry. And probably like a top 5 all-time guitar player. Like, the dude is just crazy talented, but I don't care for his music. Beastie Boys, their music sucks and they have no talent. So, you know, I'm pretty fair with my, I don't know, judging. But, you know, we all like what we like. All right, where's my chat? I guess this is when chat goes wild. Yeah. I mean, I didn't bring it up. How many gallons is that water jug? Good grief. I don't drink that much water in a week unless you count coffee. Then double it. This is a 1 gallon jug that I drink this every single day in addition to all the other water I drink. I probably drink like 2 gallons of water a day. Prince and Beastie Boys, separate planets? Yeah, because Prince is like way up here and Beastie Boys are way down here when we're talking about talent. Like, I'm not talking about style. I'm not talking about like genre. I'm talking about like pure musical talent. The Beastie Boys literally scream into a microphone. That's it. Prince writes, composes, sings, plays instruments. Self-taught guitar player, by the way. Self-taught, and he's a top 5 all-time guitar player. Like, you just have to respect that. There's really nothing to respect about the Beastie Boys. But yeah, we'll move on. I've already lost enough subscribers that like Beastie Boys. I don't need to keep losing subscribers. Well, Bob is better than Joey from Crime Pays. I don't know what Crime Pays is. Botany doesn't. He just takes with you in live streams and to go. Oh, Joey from Crime Pays. Botany doesn't. He takes us with you to go pee on a live stream. You can get in a lot of trouble for that. A lot of trouble. There is someone with millions of followers that got banned for doing that. Not exactly that, but he did take a camera into the bathroom and got banned for like 30 days. Prince was amazing. Rest in peace, Prince. I still live musically in the 80s and 90s. Sorry, didn't ever like the Beastie Boys. Yeah, you know, I get why people like. I get their message. I'm not saying they have a good message, but it's just something that anyone can do. That's all I'm trying to say. Anyone can do it. I could be in that band as a singer, and I could just scream whatever words they tell me to scream. Anyways, I'm from Minnesota, not a Prince fan, but watch the halftime show he did in the rain. It'll give you goosebumps. Just watch any of his guitar solos. They're freaking unbelievable. Michael Faulkner, respect Prince, but not for me either. Yeah, exactly. See? Anyways, see, I'm looking for fish comments, but no one's talking fish, so don't get mad at me that we're not talking about fish. All right? I don't want to see any comments after this stream. Oh, you're talking about music. I thought this was a fish stream. The viewers drive the show. With 20 neons or cardinals in a 20-gallon, here we go, a fish question. 20 neons or cardinals in a 20-gallon heavily planted tank with sponge filter be unrealistic? I don't think so. Would it be fun to watch? I feel like it'll be pretty packed. Like 20, either a 20 long or a 20 tall. I feel like 20, once they're full grown, I think that might be a little crowded in there. Whoa. Dragonlair, why do you watch that guy? Why would you watch someone that does that? My rainbow fish has started listening to Nickelback. How do I make them stop? At least Nickelback was honest. They're like, we don't care about the music. We have a formula to make hits and to make money. That's what we care about. At least they were honest, right? Say what you want about Nickelback. I'm not a fan of their music, but they said that from the start. Like, we're here to make money. We have a formula to turn out these poppy rock hits, and it works. Are there any white cloud varieties that are more cold tolerant than others? So I've never actually researched it. I guess I've always assumed that it doesn't matter what color strain they are, that they'll all are cold tolerant. I would put every single one of them as cold tolerant. Just got some Celebes rainbow. Very cool fish. Your thoughts? I would say that Celebes rainbows are definitely very cool, Ken. However, you definitely cannot afford to skip water changes with that fish. They're a fish that loves clean water. And if you miss one water change, maybe not a big deal. If you miss two of them, they definitely don't like it. So that's my advice. Really awesome fish, but they're not the most durable fish. How do I supplement an autosinkless diet without the Corys jumping on it first? Zucchini, my friend. Zucchini. Raw zucchini. Just put it in there. Put it in there overnight and you should be fine. Should I do 1 or 2 medium aquarium co-op sponge filters for my 40-gallon? Caitlin, 1 will do just fine. I would say, do you have any other type of filtration or like power heads, hang on backs? I've done 1 sponge filter in 40-gallon aquariums and it works just fine. However, it doesn't create a lot of water flow. So I generally like to do 2, 1 on each side, just to create more movement and current, especially if it's planted. If it's planted, you'll get a lot of dead spots, which means algae. And current is good. That was a terrible sentence fragment. So I started a planted multi-tank, and I want to add species of live bears. I already have guppies and all the more common live bears you can get at PetSmart. Any suggestions for cool live bear species? Yes, look up trout goodyids. Trout goodyids. Trout goodyids. Oops, spelled that wrong. There you go. Or just look up goodyids in general. They're a really cool fish. Really cool fish. Not the most common, so it'll take some searching, maybe go on Aquabid, but they are pretty cool. I live in California and have hard water, but my ghost shrimp look like they can shed. Going back to the other question, should I add Wonder Shell? I live in California and have hard water, but my ghost shrimp look like they can shed. So they do molt. Going back to the other question, should I add Wonder Shell? I have majority live bears. If you're they molt. So if you're looking, I don't know if that's what you mean by shed, but that's perfectly normal and completely healthy. Like if they have problems shedding or molting, then I would add calcium. But if they're molting just fine, and they look like invisible shrimp. Like their exoskeleton just comes off. It's crazy. But yeah, that's perfectly normal, and I wouldn't be concerned about it at all. If that's what you're talking about by when you mean shed. I'm a Marianas Trench fan. Their music videos are awesome, and their albums always have musical theme. I'm a Marianas Trench fan because I'm fascinated about all the creatures that live that deep in the ocean. I nerd out on like underwater footage from the Mariana Trench. I can nerd out on that for hours. I have no idea what the band is, but the actual trench, I'm a big fan of. Lemia. Yes, John's Fish, Michigan. Lemia species are also very cool. Very cool. But another one that's going to be goodyids or Lemia are fish you're never going to find in a Petco or PetSmart. And most likely not even in a local fish store. Trout goodyids are a cooler water fish. Yeah, but they can do... So multis can go like mid-70s. No problems. Like you don't... I don't even heat my multi-tanks. I don't have heaters in them. Oddball Aquatics. I can stutter, so I can make fun of myself for stuttering. So there you go. Here's a fun question. What solutions exist, if any, to prevent condensation on the inside glass of a paludarium so you can see in the dang thing when it's 80 degrees in there? So there is a product made by Fritz. I have no idea if it works because I've never used it, that claims to prevent that. Again, I've never used it, so I don't know. But outside of more ventilation, not a lot. Not a lot. And I realize, well, if I use screen or use ventilation, then I'm going to lose my humidity. I get it. But, yep, just more ventilation. You could do just kind of like in water, but with air. So put some fans towards like small computer fans. You know, they're just 12 volt. They'll hook up to almost anything. And you could like aim them at the front of the glass, and that'll help as well. Just a thought. Brian Glenn says, my bad for bringing up the boys. You're the best and crack me up. Rainbows and bars, my favorite fish combo so far. What's your favorite fish? Two fish combo. It's rainbows and corridoras. Rainbows and corridoras are my favorite. You got the rainbows on top. You got the corridoras down below that will also school around mid-water. And that's my favorite two fish combo. And we're in overtime now. Honestly, anything after the first hour, nothing is off limits. So don't feel bad. I only guarantee like the first hour of the stream. The second hour, that's on you guys. And I don't even like make it the full hour most of the time anyways. For the most part, you all drive the show and I go where you take it. So you probably won't read this, but whatever. Good live stream. Have a good one, everyone. I love it. I love it. If you could bring 3 famous people back from the dead, who would they be? Elvis, Einstein, and I would only bring Einstein back if I could have like a one-on-one interview where he would have to tell the truth. And who would be my third? Three famous people. Who would be my third? Boy, that is a really good question. I want to go back to like Socrates or Aristotle or just someone really super smart. Actually, you know what? It'd be Nikola Tesla. For like, I don't even know why that took me so long to say that. I'd want to bring Einstein back just so I could know, and he would have to be honest, like if he was a fraud, if he stole. I mean, obviously he was smart, but he was also kind of a fraud. Oh man, you said musician. Now I'd have to be like maybe Beethoven is by far my favorite composer that's dead. Oof. That's tough. That's tough. Maybe I swap out Elvis for Beethoven. I would want to know if Einstein stole all of his stuff from the patent office. And I would want a real answer. I mean, I'd want the truth. I mean, I'm not saying he wasn't smart and gifted, but I feel like he stole a lot from working in the patent office. Da Vinci, I feel like I would take Tesla over Da Vinci. So, yeah, I think that would be my three. This fish family frickin' rocks. Scratch that. He went out on his own terms. I guess it hurt me more because I loved his movies. Wait, who? Who are you talking about? Michelle, who are you talking about? Oh, Robin Williams. It's hard for me to be compassionate about someone that does that, but I get wanting to bring him back. Matt, what's up, buddy? Toss up between JFK and Tesla. I feel like Tesla could do way more for mankind as long as he wasn't killed again than JFK. So, I mean, JFK was definitely like whistleblowing, but he couldn't actually, like, what could he create? Like, Tesla could actually create a lot of good things for humanity. So, like, he's definitely on the list. As long as they don't kill him again. Well, I would want Tesla too. Yeah. I mean, that dude was insane. I want to see him live just once. That's selfish. Remove Robin Williams from my list too. I don't know. I don't want to get that deep. This is a fish live stream. We don't need to talk about what Robin Williams did. I'm a physicist. Ooh, awesome. Einstein's work was not related to patents. Dimebag Daryl. I'd bring Kurt Cobain because I thought his points of views were interesting. I'd bring back Tesla and Abraham Lincoln. Interesting. Tesla would have wireless electricity by now. I mean, he had it before he died, so he would definitely have it by now. There's a lot of people saying Steve Irwin, and he is definitely a phenomenal human being. But I don't know that he makes my three, and that's no disrespect to him at all. Like I said, he's a phenomenal human being. Still is. Anyone else a fan of epic rap battles of history? Every time I hear Tesla's name, I immediately think of the rap battle and not his amazing scientific accomplishments. Steve Irwin was one of the most amazing guys ever. I totally agree. Like, I mean, zero disrespect. The dude is super amazing, super inspiring. I would never bring back Stephen Hawking. I mean, talk about a fraud. Stephen Hawking is a fraud. Yeah, but like Steve Irwin over Tesla. Tesla wins. I mean, I've loved Beethoven for my entire life, so I mean he's definitely on the list. But anyways. Martin Luther King Jr. would be a really, really good one too. That's such a tough question. Such a tough question. I feel like that's such a loaded question. Like, okay. You have to think of suicide like this. For someone to kill themselves, they have to be out of their mind. The struggle to survive is so encompassing. It takes like, I don't want to get too far into it. But yeah, it's not the easiest thing to talk about, especially on a fish live stream. It's not that I don't have empathy or sympathy, because I certainly do, but like that was that person's decision. Like they decided that they were going to be happier by not being alive, and maybe in some cases that is the truth. I don't know, but like I said, let's not a very upbeat conversation to have on a fish live stream. I do wonder what Tesla and Hawking could do with I don't think Hawking can do anything. Hey, don't get mad at me. Just my opinion. 3D backgrounds. Did you buy yours? I'm going to try to DIY some this summer, but if that backfires, I need a backup plan. I got mine from, oh my gosh, I don't even remember the name of the company. What is the background? Oh my gosh, I'm such a loser. Mine are bought. Mine are not DIY. Universal Rocks. Gosh, you guys got me like all over the place right now. I can't think of anything. Master Photographer says finally caught a live stream, and we are like so off base for fish right now. This is why genies don't allow for a wish, because they'd be used that way. I'm glad to join on my 35th hour of continuous work on the clock. That seems highly illegal to me. Rocks something. Yeah. Universal Rocks. What do you call a stolen Tesla? Gotta be a punchline there somewhere, right? We need to reboot, Bob. Yes, let's just bring this back in. Let's bring this back to fish. Although I will say I wouldn't bring back Edison. Universal Rock is having mold issues from what I saw online. My Universal Rock backgrounds, they came in shipped absolutely horrible. It's probably like the worst packaging I've ever seen in my life across any industry on how they packed them. And there's like holes in the backgrounds, like randomly all over the place. And these are about 3 or 4 years old. So, yeah. I just want to see Nikola Tesla and Neil deGrasse Tyson have a conversation. Tesla would own them. It wouldn't even be close. Do you see Neil deGrasse Tyson? They said, "What is gravity?" He's like, "I don't know," which is fair. I mean, nobody knows what gravity is, but still, just say, "I don't know." Be a little more technical. I don't know. It's not a Steenfott Aquatics live stream. You just can't say, "I don't know" to what is gravity. Could an air pump be used as passive CO2 to put a tiny bit of CO2 in the water? Yes, obviously, you would be putting CO2 in your water if you use an air pump. However, would it be enough to actually make a difference? I don't know. I don't know. But obviously, it would be getting some. At the same time, it would be getting gassed right off as soon as it goes to the surface with the oxygen bubbles. So, I don't know. But I would assume it does some sort of minute amount of CO2 gets in there. I had no idea this would create such a conversation, such a controversial conversation. at that, right? Universal Rocks rant. I mean, that's just my own experience. It's not really a rant. I mean, yeah, there's tiny holes in them, but it's still better than not having it. I got them for, well, I can't really complain because, I mean, I got them for free, full disclosure. If I had not gotten them for free, I would have complained about shipping for sure. But that doesn't seem to really matter with them, as a lot of people have complained about shipping. Yeah, apparently they're just not the best shippers. My dog is so stupid, she literally just sniffed a shadow for long enough to be awkward. Good grief. What's your favorite place you've ever visited? Man, we're random now. I would have to think about that one. I'd have to think about that one. In his fish room tour, Corey said they were having issues, so just going to have to make my DIY work or black. I honestly don't think that for how much they are, I don't think they're worth the price. Now, Corey has the ones that just come on rolls, which are way cheaper. Like mine, the ones I got in my 40-gallon tanks, they're like one-off, like custom made. So they are way more expensive. They're like $200 and some a piece at the time. So, yeah. I don't think they would, if I had to pay for it, I would never have bought them. I do think the ones Corey are buying are good. I mean, there's definitely issues, but again, they're not that expensive comparatively, and they still like look good in the tank. But there's definitely issues there as well. So the blue car will try and eat it eventually. I think I missed that one. My dog actually did that too. Seapool, I don't know. Favorite place I've ever visited. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing really stands out as I've visited a lot of cool places, but nothing really stands out as like my favorite. Can you put Amazon puffers and spotted Congo puffers together? Oof. I'm sure you could. I'm not sure you'd want to risk it for the price of Congo puffers. They're both generally peaceful, but maybe not to con specifics. So I don't think I would try that. I made my backgrounds with closed cell foam and pond spray foam. I have like black marks all over my hands from that pond spray foam. I should have used gloves, but I'm a dummy. What can I say? Voluntary overtime, airline industry, all hours you want. Well, as long as they're not making you work 30 some hours straight, then okay. Got a new job. Congratulations. So I bought a 20 long, looking to breed fish, but keep it Pride Month themed. Any ideas? Rainbow fish. Like, what else am I supposed to say there? Rainbow fish. Boom. Perfect. I have an aqua decor. Aqua decor, expensive. Process takes about a month to start and finish, and when it arrived in the box, looked like it was ran over by a truck. I really like the look of the aqua decor ones, but again, it's just so expensive. And I feel like none of these companies have figured out how to ship. Like, let me rephrase. They know how to ship it, but they don't want to pay to ship it correctly. They want to do it as cheap as possible, which if I'm paying like $300-400 for a background and you're only charging me $20 for shipping and think I'm going to be happy when it comes completely crushed, when you could have charged me $60 and put it in a nicer box and reinforced, I mean, I'm already paying $400 for a background. What's another $60 to make sure it gets to me okay? Like, they don't get that. I don't know. Bikers and angelfish. Okay, so probably. Some bikers get pretty dang big, so just be cautious on which ones you get. Snails, it was really easy to use for making a rock wall in my mud skipper tank. Oh, I thought you were saying snails made it easy to build your rock. I'm like, you're building a rock wall out of snails? So probably pretty easy, but maybe not easy to make attractive. I see. I was a little confused there for a minute. Guppies will breed at 20 long. Guppies would be a really good one. Super colorful, easy to breed, fun. So yeah, guppies, endlers, shrimp. You could go to like lrbrets.com and get like the Skittles mix and get shrimp in all different colors. I've got bats in the backyard dive bombing the lightning bugs. Interesting. Bickers, bishears, whatever. Beta, whatever. All right, that's 2.5 hours. I'm gonna call it quits. We went a half hour extra because we went off the rails. Uh-oh. Now I gotta let this time out. Okay, Stu with the $5 super chat. Great stream, Bobby Thunder. What is a bucket list fish tank setup you want to have in the future? 240 acrylic with 500 stir-by. No, I still want my feather fins from Lake Tanganyika. They get like a foot, and I don't know if I can pull up a picture, but they're no, I can't. I deleted that, but they're the Benthochromis tricotti. Well, maybe no, I can't. Benthochromis tricotti. They're from Lake Tanganyika, and yeah, they're just super beautiful and super expensive, and you never see them. Benthochromis tricotti. There's not like any exceptional videos of them either. Well, they're pretty rare, so there's not going to be great videos of them. But yeah. Here you go. I'll give you the name so you can Google it. Thank you, Kate Stu, for the $5 super chat. But that is one of my bucket list fish right there. I've knocked off quite a few bucket list fish, like the L397s, the Mabu Pleco, but this one has always eluded me, and they've come up probably like 3 or 4 times, and I've just never been in a position to buy them. But they are just an amazing fish. They're usually around $200 a piece, and when you have to buy a school of them, yeah, you're looking at a couple $1,000s. So I think the cheapest I've seen them were, I saw some fry once for like 160-ish, 140-ish. But again, when you have to buy a group of them, that adds up pretty quick. Fish Tank Barn says, I want to find those. Yeah, and they get big, and you don't want to put them with fin nippers because they will get that beautiful lyre tail, and it's just amazing. Thank you for the stream, brother, but always better with Danny. I know. She was home today as well. And I was like, well, why didn't you just come on the stream? I don't know. Oh, that's a looker for sure. Yeah, such a beautiful fish. It's getting harder and harder and harder to find Lake Tanganyikan fish outside of like the stuff you see every frickin' day. The more less common, the less common fish just continue to get harder and harder to get. Okay, where are we at? I want a pond of dojo loaches. That'd be pretty fun. Ken, what's up, buddy? Did he say Mabu Pleco? Mabu Pleco. Yep. I got it. I got one. Just look at my Instagram. I posted a picture of one. Thank you for the stream, brother, but always... Oh, I already read that one. Yeah, what's a Mabu Pleco? Look on my Instagram. I posted a picture of one. I'll show you. Let's see if I can pull it up. You thought I was lying, but it's a real fish. Uh-oh. That's funny. Where is it? I gotta find it now. This will be the last thing I do on this stream. I am gonna show you my Mabu Pleco. If I can find a picture of it. Oh, here it is. Right here. See? I don't know if that's gonna come across, but It's not going. There you go. Mabu Pleco. It's not great because of the green screen, but there you go. If you want the real picture, it is on my Instagram. Not great with the green screen. There's my Instagram. Thank you, Zen Ginger. That's where we will end it. Sorry I missed it. What was the fish you mentioned? Mabu Pleco. Mabu Pleco. Are Bob and Danny a couple? Just a couple of fish nerds. We are just friends. Just friends. Thank you. Always missed the last few live streams. You're the best. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. I want to thank everyone who came out. New gamer tag, Mabu Pansy. What? Okay. Thank you, everyone who super chatted and thumbs up. Thumbs up, definitely. Bob for president. I would be the best president in the history of all presidents, guaranteed. And thanks the moderators, lurkers, everyone. Even if you never said a word in chat, thank you. I appreciate you hanging out. And all of the subscribers, appreciate you all. And members only stream Thursday again. Otherwise, I will see you all here